Easy peasy beautiful guacamole. The condiment that pushes me into death every time I make it. The idea is simple. All we need is avocado, tomato, onion, lime, jalapeño. Sometimes you can use garlic, not today though, and of course salt. I didn't add pepper, but I did add cilantro, as we'll see later. This is really the basics. It's a simple guacamole. Let's get started with step 1. Obviously, we want to use avocados that are ripe, ready to use. And to check, all you have to do is just press at the bottom of the avocado to see if it gives in a little bit. That's usually a good indication that it's ready to be guacamole. Now with our favorite knife or cutting towel or spork, we just cut vertically like this. Makes it easier to scoop the avocado out. And if you live in Canada, avocados in Canada, everybody. A classic case of paying more for less. I mean, why pay for a whole avocado when you can have half for absolutely the same price? Like, come on, can we even call this an avocado? What sort of a pit is that? Well, once we have all of our avocados collected, we gotta get rid of the junk that's in there. So with a little plastic spoon, we just remove it lightly until I guess half of our avocado is gone, and whatever's left over, we collect it all, and this is what we'll make guacamole with.
This is the worst!
Step mole. Moler means to mash in Spanish, and you can do that with just about anything. A fork does a pretty good job, and if your avocado is a little bit not ready, just by stabbing it a little bit and then mashing and stabbing, you can get the final result like this. Once we are here, we can move on to the next step. So I like to start with the tomato. We're not going to use a whole tomato for all of this. Well, if you like tomato, then yeah, go to town. Like, don't listen to me. Use the whole tomato. I only used a quarter, and then I cut that into nice little squares, and that's what I ended up dropping in there. It's the same concept with the onions. We don't use the whole onion, unless you really love onion. We use a little bit of the onion, and then that, cut into little squares, is what goes into the guacamole. And we repeat the process with anything else we want to use. Jalapeño, I did go overboard with that, because our family here, we like spicy. So we leave the seeds in, we leave the veins in, we cut it into nice little squares, and that's what's going in. But if you want to get rid of the spice, just make sure you get rid of that white, ugly part, the veins and the seeds. That's what will keep you sitting down at the toilet for hours. But like we said, we like it spicy here. So a whole jalapeno, in it goes. Now that we have everything together, we add the last one, cilantro. If you're one of those who was born hating cilantro and just can't handle it, just don't add it. But usually, guacamole has cilantro. And lastly, we add our lime and our salt. But I was told on YouTube to not add too much lime because we want to focus on the avocado. That's supposed to be the superstar, so half a lime is okay. Here's where I messed up because I am the way that I am. And a teaspoon is way too much for this. Way too much. So, hindsight, half a teaspoon.
Thanks a lot, man. Thanks for the advice.
I think the next part is pretty self-explanatory. We just mix it around, make sure they all get along, become best friends, and then, like all food, we taste it. And this was pretty stinking salty. But that's what cooking's all about. You make mistakes, you learn from them, and you never repeat them again, unless you're me. Now we just serve it on something really fancy looking, watch our guests trying to get it out of the fancy looking plate, and enjoy.